I'm going to invite Ira Thomas on the bema right now. And Ira is the chair of Art et Soleil. Actually, and Robert Danoff, this may have been on your watch as the president of the temple. This beautiful, beautiful initiative to bring arts kind of at the heart and soul of Temple Soleil to just to allow our community to come forth with all of the creativity that is here. And Ira, you and your committee have done such a fabulous job bringing forth that creativity, and I would love to invite you to come up because I think you've got a presentation you're going to make.
Thank you, Rabbi. On behalf of Art et Soleil, it gives me great pleasure to announce our 2021 Art Scholarship winner, Lena Wiseman. Lena graduated this spring from Pinnacle High School and will enter University of Arizona Honors College in the fall, where she will study speech, language, and hearing pathology, and intends to incorporate her photography and drawing interest in these disciplines. Many art pieces of hers are online under the Art et Soleil category in the temple website. You will see in her work the color sense and design that her grandmother, Nancy Joy Wiseman, instilled in her at an early age. Lena was on the board of the photography group at Pinnacle High School, exhibited it at the Future Business Leaders of America State Photography Competition, and studied at Trish Marbury Studio in advanced drawing and portraiture. Lena is the daughter of temple member David and Lynn Wiseman, and their granddaughter of Norman and Nancy Joy Wiseman. Nancy Joy is a valued member of our committee, which also includes Ruth Jacobs, Janet Robinson, Carolyn Golden, Diana Turk, and our newest member, Maya Goldenson. Lena, would you come up, please? It is an honor to present to Lena Wiseman the Art et Soleil Art Scholarship Award for 2021. Congratulations.
Thank you.
There is your
Thank you.
award. And this is a check that
Perfect. Thank you so much.
congratulations.
Thank you.
So, Lena, I think that Elise wants to capture this moment. Speaking of photography. Lena, congratulations. And I know also the proud niece of Danny and proud sister of Jordan as well.
Mazel tov, Lena. It's wonderful. So one of the things that we frequently do on Family Shabbat is to share a story. So I'm going to do that now. Used to be that Jews sometimes were subjected to disputations in various countries where they lived. They had to prove their right to continue to live there, or they had to defend the Talmud as they did in 1240 in the disputation in Paris, also in this month of June. And so this was often a time of great anxiety when there was a disputation. And I'm sure that that is the background to this story, but it's a much lighter story. So here's the story. There was a sultan who ruled over a kingdom, and he really didn't care much about the people in his kingdom. But what he did care about was being thought of as very, very bright. He saw himself as a genius, and he wanted everyone in his kingdom to think of him as the smartest person in the entire kingdom. And most of the people did. But one day he was walking around in his kingdom and he heard a discussion going on that really concerned him. It was a discussion about the Jews. And the people who were gathered around said, you know, the Jews are a very, very bright people. They study a lot. Wisdom is important to them. They're always asking questions and learning. They're very, very bright. In fact, they might even be brighter than the Sultan. Well, as you can imagine, this did not go over well. So the Sultan went back to his court and he ruminated about this. What could he do? This was not acceptable to him. He asked his advisors for suggestions. They said, well, maybe you want to have a debate. You know, pick one Jew, have a debate. Well, that sort of sounded good, but then there was also the possibility that the Sultan might not look so good, so he wasn't so sure about that. So he thought about it some more and he came up with a plan. He said, I know what we're going to do. We're going to have a silent duel. It will be a silent debate, all done in gestures. And he told the Jews that they needed to find one person to have this debate with him, with the Sultan, and he picked a date for that debate. Well, as you might imagine, the Jews were very worried about this because he told them that if they won, they could stay in the kingdom. But if they lost, they had to leave. So this was quite a responsibility. And the Jews talked about, well, who should go and debate the Sultan? And every rabbi in that community thought, I really don't want this on my shoulders. And the scribes, same thing, not interested. The merchants, not doing it. So who was going to go and have this duel with the Sultan? Well, finally, a farmer came forward and he said, well, if it's not about words, you know, I'd give it a go. So this farmer was picked to have this duel with the Sultan. And the two men come together. The Sultan sizes up this farmer, and he can't believe that that is who the Jews sent for such an important task. This guy didn't look like he had much training. But okay. He figured, you know, this was going to be easy. So the Sultan, he looks at the Jew, and he's thinking, what does he want to do first? So this is what he does. He goes, well, the Jew, the farmer, looks back at the Sultan, and he goes, and the Sultan is astonished. He gives some thought to what to do next. And he looks at the farmer and he goes, and the farmer gives this some thought and he goes, oh, well, this has really got the Sultan, you know, just kind of in a fury. And so he goes, and now it's the farmer who's really upset, and he goes, well, the Sultan thinks, and he thinks, and he thinks. And finally he goes to a cabinet, and he brings out a bottle of red wine. And the farmer is thinking about this, and he leans into his bag, and he pulls out an apple. And the Sultan throws up his hands. He says, you win. You win. It's over. The Jews must be allowed to stay and not be harmed. Well, the Jews are elated, and they, you know, clap the farmer on the back, and they leave the palace, and they're so excited. And meanwhile, the people in the palace, the courtiers, they can't imagine what could have happened. They can't figure out what was this all about. So they gather around the Sultan and they say, tell us, what was this debate? What was the discussion? And the Sultan says, well, I said to the farmer, holiness is up there. But the farmer said, no, holiness is right here. It's down here with us. And then I said to the farmer, there are two gods, a good God and an evil God. But the farmer came back and said, no, there's only one God, And the Sultan said to the farmer, I am going to spread you people over the whole earth. I'm just going to scatter you. But the farmer came back and said, we Jews are united. We are a people. You cannot destroy us. So I went and got a bottle of red wine, and I said, your sins are as red as this red wine. To which he reminded me then of the Garden of Eden and said, we all know of good and evil, and all of us sin. And with that, he had won. Well, a very different discussion was going on in the Jewish camp. They too gathered around, their guy, their hero, and they said, tell us, what was this all about? And the farmer said, well, first that Sultan said, you guys are out of here. And I said, no way, we're staying put right here. And then he was so furious that he's like, I am going to knock your eyes out. To which I put up one finger like, I am going to stop you from that. And then that Sultan, he said, I am going to slap you. And I said, you just try. And the Jews were just amazed that this discussion had gone on. And they said, but what about the apple? And he said, well, he got out his snack, so I got out mine. So I love this story, number one, because it's cute, but also because I think there's some deep truth to it, actually, that we often think we know what's going on in somebody else's words or actions. And how often are we mistaken? So the importance of asking questions. We teach in Judaism that each person is unique and made by God to be an individual. And we forget, I think, sometimes that means that our brains work differently. And so we have to check to make sure we're understanding one another well. So, my story for today.